Welcome to Zoe Stories. Tricked by friends into a dress, they're not joking. The afternoon sun filtered lazily through the blinds, but my mood was anything but bright. My name is Alex, 19, and I was the kind of guy who preferred the shadows. Quiet, reserved, painfully aware of how little I fit in with my rowdy circle of friends. That's why their text shocked me. Party at Jess's. Everyone's coming.
Jess.
My so-called best friend. Bold, daring, magnetic. She had a way of commanding attention, of making everyone do exactly what she wanted. And me? I'd learned long ago that resisting her wasn't an option. But the kicker came with a second text. Dress code. Fun, flirty, skirts optional but encouraged.
Can't wait to see you.
I laughed nervously. Skirts? For me? Surely it was a joke. Or maybe Jess was just testing me. But a small, gnawing voice inside warned me. When Jess says something like that, it isn't optional. By evening, I found myself staring at the small pile of skirts and dresses Jess had casually left at my apartment door. Each one prettier than the last, delicate fabrics whispering promises I didn't want to hear. My fingers trembled as I lifted one, a soft pastel mini with lace trimming. I heard my phone buzz again. Jess, try it on. You'll love it. I wanted to delete the message, to run, to pretend I never saw it. But curiosity and fear held me rooted. The first time I slipped into the dress, the sensation was electric and mortifying all at once. My legs felt exposed, my chest compressed, and the unfamiliar sway of the fabric against my skin made my heart pound. I caught my reflection in the mirror and froze. Who was this? The face staring back had my eyes. Yes, but everything else? Soft, delicate, undeniably feminine. My cheeks flushed crimson. Before I could pull it off, my phone buzzed again.
Jess.
Perfect, can't wait to see you. Take a selfie and send it. My stomach twisted. Pride warred with panic. I wanted to refuse, but the thought of defying Jess impossible. I lifted the phone. Hands shaking, I took the picture. My reflection stared back, stranger and more alluring than I could admit. Then came the message that sealed my fate. Meet me at the Plaza in 30. And Alex, no excuses. A cold thrill ran down my spine. I wasn't just dressing up for fun. Jess had orchestrated something far bigger, and I was trapped. The question burned in my chest as I left the apartment. Would I survive this, or would I become her? Alex steps out of his apartment, skirts swaying nervously as he approaches Jess's Plaza rendezvous, fully aware that once he meets her, the fun might turn into something inescapable. The Plaza was buzzing with evening energy, people laughing, music from nearby cafes drifting into the air, couples holding hands. But my heart was hammering, not from excitement, but from fear. Each step in the soft pastel skirt felt surreal, my legs shifting unnaturally with the sway of the fabric. Jess was waiting near the fountain, arms crossed, eyes scanning the crowd with predatory precision. The second I approached, her lips curved into that unmistakable mischievous smile. Well, look at you, she said, tilting her head. Not bad for a start. I flushed crimson. Every instinct screamed to run, to escape, but her gaze pinned me like a trap.
Jess.
This is ridiculous. I stammered, tugging at the hem of the skirt. She laughed softly, stepping closer, her fingers brushing my arm. Oh, Alex, that's the fun part. You look perfect. Now, let's see if you can handle being noticed. Jess led me through the plaza like a careful predator. The skirts swished around my legs, heels clicking awkwardly against the pavement. People turned to look. Some stared with mild curiosity. Others whispered and giggled. My cheeks burned. I felt completely exposed, not just physically, but emotionally. Every pair of eyes felt like a spotlight. Every whisper amplified my shame. Walk with confidence, Jess instructed, her voice calm yet commanding. Pretend you own this skirt. Pretend you belong here. You'll get used to it eventually. I tried.
I really did.
But the world didn't forgive the stumbles. My gait was uneven, my posture stiff. Someone near a cafe pointed and laughed. Jess's hand shot out, lightly gripping my elbow. "Ignore them," she said. "Or maybe let them notice. It's all part of the game." I wanted to sink into the ground, but a strange thrill flickered through me. Even as embarrassment consumed me, a part of me couldn't deny the rush, being looked at, feeling delicate, being pretty. We stopped at a small ice cream stand. Jess insisted I order first. My voice trembled, soft and high-pitched. The vendor's eyes flicked to my skirt, then back to my face. I felt his silent judgment press against me like a physical weight. "I'll have a strawberry cone," I whispered, almost inaudibly. Jess's grin widened. "Louder, Alex." "Own it." I cleared my throat and repeated it. The vendor chuckled. Jess winked at me, and my face turned into a bright flame of embarrassment. Every step, every word, every glance reinforced the truth. I was no longer the same. I was stepping into a role, forced, manipulated, but increasingly real. After the ice cream, Jess pulled me to a quieter corner near the fountain. "See," she said softly, brushing her fingers along mine. "This is fun, isn't it? Feeling different. Feeling noticed. Feeling beautiful." I froze. The word pierced me like a spark. Beautiful? I had never considered myself that. And yet, my reflection in the small fountain's water shimmered back at me. Soft features, delicate arms, the flowing skirt. The stranger in the reflection was undeniably attractive and undeniably me. A shiver of confusion ran through me. Embarrassment tangled with excitement. Shame blended with curiosity. And I realized something dangerous. Part of me liked it. As we walked back toward the crowd, Jess leaned in close, her lips near my ear. "Next, we try walking through the mall. Full exposure. No hiding. Are you ready to truly become seen?" My stomach twisted. The thought of more eyes, more attention, more humiliation made me want to run. But the skirt swayed invitingly, and somewhere deep inside, a part of me was trembling with anticipation. Could I survive this? Could I even resist her control? The following afternoon, Jess had arranged the next phase of my ordeal, a trip to the city mall. She called it a fun outing, but I knew better. Every step in the plaza, every blush, every whisper had prepared me for this. Complete exposure, public scrutiny, and the subtle erosion of my old identity. I slipped into the skirt again, this time paired with a fitted blouse that accentuated my shoulders, my wrists adorned with delicate bracelets Jess had insisted on. Heels clicked against the tiles as I followed her, each step a careful negotiation between balance and fear. From the moment we entered the mall, eyes followed. Shoppers paused mid-step to stare, children whispered to each other, couples turned to glance. The weight of their attention was suffocating, but Jess's hand on my elbow grounded me. "Relax," she whispered. "Let them look. They're just noticing beauty."
Beauty.
The word pierced me again. I swallowed hard, cheeks burning, yet a subtle thrill ran through me. A group of teenagers leaned over a railing on the second floor, laughing quietly. I froze, wishing the ground would open up beneath me. Jess's hand squeezed mine. "Ignore them, or let them notice. It's your choice." I wanted to run, but the skirt swayed and my reflection caught in the glass storefronts, soft features, delicate form, undeniably feminine. I realized with a jolt that some part of me wanted to be noticed. Jess guided me to a cafe, insisting I order our drinks. My voice trembled as I spoke, higher and softer than my usual tone. I'll have a vanilla latte, please," I whispered. The barista's eyes lingered on my skirt. Jess smiled at me, her expression a mix of sweetness and control. "Good, Alex, but say it again, louder." "Own it." My face burned crimson as I repeated the order. Jess's hand brushed against mine as she whispered, "Perfect, you're doing so well." Humiliation and a strange thrill tangled in my chest. I hated it. And yet, a flicker of pleasure slipped through the shame. Every move was carefully orchestrated by Jess. At the clothing stores, she insisted I try on outfits I would never have chosen, delicate dresses, tight skirts, flowing blouses. She guided my hands, my posture, even the tilt of my head. Look at yourself, she commanded in front of the mirror. Do you see what they see? You're beautiful, irresistible. And you're mine. The possessive tone sent shivers down my spine. My reflection looked soft, feminine, undeniably appealing. The truth clawed at me. My old self, my identity as Alex, felt like a distant memory. By the time we left the mall, exhaustion and confusion had settled into my muscles and mind. I had stumbled over heels, flushed with embarrassment countless times, and felt the weight of public eyes. Yet, as Jess linked her arm with mine and whispered, "You're perfect, Alex, my pretty girl," I felt a strange warmth, a dangerous blend of fear and arousal. The humiliation was addictive, the praise intoxicating. The lines between shame, excitement, and submission blurred. My resistance felt weaker, slipping like sand through fingers. As we exited, Jess paused at the mall entrance, turning to face me with that knowing smile. Next time, she murmured, we'll try walking through the city streets. No malls, no hiding, just you, the world, and your new self. Are you ready for everyone to see the real you? My stomach twisted. The thought of total exposure, of complete loss of privacy, made my knees tremble. Yet beneath the fear, a dangerous curiosity flickered. Could I resist her?
Could I even want to?
The next morning, the sun gleamed off the wet pavement, reflecting every passing shadow. Jess had been clear. Today wasn't a mall, a plaza, or a controlled space. Today was the city streets. Crowds, traffic, curious eyes, the unpredictable world. I looked down at the pastel skirt swaying around my thighs, paired with the delicate blouse Jess had insisted was essential for full effect. My heels clicked uncomfortably against the concrete. Every step felt like walking on shards of glass. Remember, Jess said softly, her hand brushing my arm, there's no hiding today. Just you, the world, and everyone watching. Embrace it. I swallowed hard. Every instinct screamed to refuse. But as always, her calm authority held me captive. The city was unforgiving. Strangers stared openly, some whispering, some pointing. A group of teenagers laughed as I passed, mimicking my swaying steps. I froze, my chest tight, cheeks burning. My hands gripped the fabric of the skirt. Humiliation surged through me like fire. Jess leaned close, her lips brushing my ear. Good, Alex, let them see. Let them feel the change. This is part of it. Part of becoming me. The possessiveness in her tone made my stomach flutter, and for a fraction of a second, I felt a dangerous thrill beneath the shame. By the time we reached the city square, I was trembling, not just physically, but emotionally. I had walked past dozens of eyes, endured whispers, snickers, and outright stares. A man near a coffee stand gave a low whistle. My heart pounded. I wanted to disappear, to retreat into a shadow. But Jess held me firmly by the elbow. You're doing beautifully, she said, smiling sweetly. So delicate, so perfect. Own it. Her words were a knife and a bomb at once. Every glance I received cut into my pride, but each compliment, each approving glance from her, ignited a strange warmth in me. Jess didn't stop at walking. She guided me into shops I would never have entered alone. I tried on lacy lingerie behind closed curtains, applying subtle makeup she insisted brought out the softness in your features. Alex, she said, tilting my chin with a finger, see how your reflection changes? See how soft, how feminine you look? This is the real you. The words, combined with her control and the mirror's reflection, created a dangerous internal conflict.
Part of me wanted to resist.
Another part wanted to stay, to become the girl in the mirror. Even as my resistance faltered, my embarrassment soared. Each slip of the skirt, each awkward step in heels, each blush under her gaze, tied me more tightly to her control. When we stepped back onto the street, I noticed a small crowd forming. Someone recognized me from school, a former classmate. His eyes widened, then softened. Alex, is that really? Panic surged. Jess's grip on my wrist tightened. Ignore them, she whispered. Or maybe show them. Show the world who you are now. I felt frozen. But the skirt swayed invitingly, the heels forced my posture upright, and I realized I couldn't deny the reflection of myself anymore. The girl staring back from windows, puddles, and mirrors was undeniable. By the end of the day, my muscles ached, my face burned, and my mind spun with conflicting emotions. Shame, embarrassment, fear, but also something darker. Desire, excitement, even pride. Jess leaned in close as we sat on a city bench. Her lips brushed my ear. "You're mine, Alex. Beautiful, delicate, perfect, and the world has no idea who you were." I shivered, both from the cool evening air and the weight of her words. Somewhere deep inside, the old Alex was slipping, and a new, undeniably feminine self was emerging, guided entirely by Jess's control. As the sun set, casting golden light over the city, Jess stood, offering her hand. Tomorrow, the next step. The cafe, the salon, the beauty test. The world will see you fully, and there will be no going back. Are you ready, Alex, or should I carry you there? My heart raced. I wanted to run, but my legs, trained, feminized, hesitant, refused. Somewhere deep, a whisper inside me asked a terrifying question. Do I even want to run anymore? The sun was higher now, reflecting off the city streets and casting long shadows into the windows of the upscale salon Jess had chosen. My chest tightened the moment we stepped inside. The air smelled of perfumes, hairsprays, and faint traces of heated wax, luxury and judgment all in one. Jess guided me through the glass doors like a conductor leading a reluctant orchestra. The stylist looked up, startled. Her gaze lingered on the skirt, the soft blouse, and the slight wobble of my heels. Jess said, with that infuriating smile. Perfect timing. This is exactly what we wanted. I swallowed hard. My stomach twisted as reality set in. Here, I would be scrutinized, beautified, and reshaped under the eyes of professionals and strangers alike. There was no escape and no comfort. Jess took control immediately. My hair, usually messy and unkempt, was pulled into a sleek style, strands falling gracefully to frame my face. "Sit still," she commanded softly. "You're mine now. We'll make sure everyone sees the new you and loves it." I closed my eyes, cheeks burning, as a stylist applied gentle foundation. Each brushstroke felt intimate, invasive, and humiliating. Lipstick followed, soft pink, matching the blush Jess had insisted on. My reflection in the mirror caught me unawares. The boy I had been seemed gone. In his place, a delicate girl stared back. My chest tightened, not from anxiety, but from a strange thrill. Jess leaned close, her voice a whisper. "Do you like what you see, Alex? You're prettier than you think, and everyone will notice." The words felt like fire against my skin. I wanted to protest. I wanted to flee. And yet, I couldn't look away. After hair and makeup, Jess guided me into a private room. Soft music played, and she laid out delicate lingerie. My heart raced. "You need to understand every part of your new self," she said. "Even the things you're ashamed of. Even the parts you think you'll hate." Hands trembling, I slipped into the silky, lacy garments she offered. Every inch of fabric against my skin reminded me of vulnerability, of exposure. Yet a strange sensation coursed through me, warmth, excitement, something dangerously close to pleasure. Jess watched with an almost predatory satisfaction. "Perfect. Every curve, every line, this is who you are now. And the world will see it too." By the time we returned to the main salon area, other patrons had noticed me. Whispers followed, discreet glances exchanged. Each look, each murmur, hammered into me the truth. I was now visible, delicate, and undeniably feminine. Jess guided me past mirrors and workstations, every step calculated, every motion rehearsed. I stumbled in my heels once, and she gently steadied me. "See," she whispered, her lips brushing my ear. "Even your mistakes are beautiful. You're learning. You're becoming perfect." Humiliation and desire collided violently. My face burned, my heart raced, and a part of me wondered, was this truly me? Or was this all Jess, forcing me into a reflection of her will? By the end of the salon session, I barely recognized myself. Every inch of me, hair, makeup, nails, lingerie, had been meticulously crafted to erase the boy I had been. Yet as we walked back to the streets, a strange feeling tugged at me. Part fear, part exhilaration, part shame. I had submitted completely, and yet, some flicker of resistance remained. Jess leaned in, her breath warm against my cheek. Tomorrow, we show them at the cafe. The world will see you fully. Are you ready to be admired, Alex, or are you afraid? My chest tightened. I wanted to run. I wanted to cry. And yet a shiver ran down my spine at the thought of being noticed, adored, and controlled. The chapter closes as Jess whispers softly. Every day, the old you fades a little more. Tomorrow you will walk into the cafe, and there will be no turning back. Are you ready to truly become seen? Alex's reflection in the salon mirror still haunts him, a perfect girl, entirely under Jess's control, leaving him torn between fear, desire, and the inescapable pull of his new identity. The next morning dawned warm and bright, but my stomach was a knot of nerves. Jess had been unusually insistent. Today, we were going to a popular cafe downtown, a bustling hub of students, professionals, and tourists. The goal: full exposure, public admiration, and subtle humiliation that would push me further into my new identity. I slipped into the pastel dress, paired with delicate heels and a soft cardigan Jess had chosen. My hair was freshly styled, makeup still flawless from the salon. Every detail had been orchestrated to perfection, by Jess, of course, and every detail made me increasingly aware of how powerless I had become. The cafe was already buzzing with activity when we arrived. People paused mid-conversation to glance at me. Some stared openly, whispering, while others subtly nudged companions to take a closer look. My chest tightened. The sensation was familiar now, embarrassment mingled with a dangerous thrill. Jess took my hand, guiding me through the crowd. Walk slowly, she whispered. Let them see. Let them feel the transformation. I obeyed, each step in the heels sending shivers through me. The swish of the skirt and the soft sway of my hair drew even more attention. I could feel eyes on me, measuring, judging, admiring. Jess led me to a small table near the window. A group of college students glanced in my direction, smirking. My cheeks flushed crimson, and I shrank in my seat. You like the attention, don't you? Jess murmured, brushing her hand along mine. No. I stammered, my voice catching. She leaned closer, whispering with that cruelly sweet smile. Don't fight it. Every glance, every whisper, it's proof. You're beautiful, and you know it. Her words cut through me, twisting my shame into something else entirely. Part of me hated the attention. Part of me secretly craved it. The realization was terrifying. Jess insisted I order our drinks. My voice trembled, higher and softer than normal. I'll have a caramel latte, please, I said quietly. The barista glanced at me, hesitating a beat longer than necessary. I felt my face burn. Jess's fingers brushed against my hand. Louder, she whispered. Own it. You're not just Alex anymore. You're her now. I repeated the order, forcing a small smile. The barista nodded with a faint smile, and Jess whispered, Perfect. Did you hear that? Admiration. Every sip of latte, every glance from a stranger, every murmur of admiration or curiosity heightened my conflicted emotions. Shame and embarrassment clashed with a subtle, growing arousal. The skirt, the heels, the delicate movements Jess had taught me, all conspired to reinforce the new persona she was crafting. When a man near the window complimented my hair and dress, calling me lovely, my heart raced. My cheeks burned, and yet a small part of me thrilled in the recognition. Jess's grip on my wrist tightened slightly. See? You're beautiful. The world agrees. And so do I. Her words were both a comfort and a weapon. I wanted to resist, to reclaim my old identity, but each glance, each compliment, each step in the heels tethered me closer to her control. Jess insisted on a mirror selfie before we left. I stared at my reflection. Soft features, delicate form, impeccably dressed, utterly feminine. The girl in the mirror was me, but not me. I like what I see, Jess said softly. Do you? I hesitated. Do I? The question rattled me. Pride, fear, desire, and shame warred inside. I had never felt so vulnerable, yet so alive. As we left the cafe, Jess whispered close to my ear. Tomorrow we'll take it to the next level. Shopping, beauty pageant practice, and the world will see you completely. There will be no hiding, Alex. Are you ready? My chest tightened, legs trembling, yet a strange thrill ran through me. The line between fear, shame, and desire was disappearing fast, and I didn't know if I wanted to find it again. The next day, Jess had planned something she called the ultimate test, a day of shopping at the city's upscale boutiques followed by a private beauty pageant practice. My stomach churned with dread, but also a faint, unsettling curiosity. I slipped into a tight-fitting dress that hugged my curves and emphasized my small waist. The heels Jess had chosen clicked sharply against the polished tiles as I followed her into the first boutique. My reflection in the glass doors made me pause. Soft features, long eyelashes, delicate fingers. The girl in the mirror was undeniably beautiful, but entirely unfamiliar. Jess smiled, noticing my hesitation. Stop looking at the old you, Alex.
She's gone.
Look at her. Your new self. And the world will see her too. I shivered, equal parts terrified and fascinated. The boutiques were crowded, and every step drew attention. Sales assistants paused mid-task, shoppers whispered to each other, and I felt eyes tracking my every movement. Jess held my hand, guiding me deliberately. Walk slowly, Alex. Feel every step. Let them notice the way you move. I stumbled slightly in my heels. A small laugh erupted from a group of teenagers nearby. My cheeks burned, and I wanted to vanish. Jess leaned close and whispered, "Don't hide. Let them see. Let them envy." Humiliation and a strange thrill battled inside me. Part of me wanted to resist, part of me secretly craved the attention. Jess led me to the fitting rooms, selecting outfits I never would have considered. Tight skirts, delicate blouses, silky dresses. Each garment was a reminder of my vulnerability and her control. "Try this," she said, handing me a short, flowing dress. Perfect for a night out or a stage. I slipped it on, feeling the soft fabric against my skin. Every inch of it screamed femininity. My reflection made me freeze, my legs slim and smooth, my posture improved by the heels, my chest and shoulders delicate and soft. Jess circled me like a judge, her eyes calculating. "Beautiful," she said finally. "But you need to learn to own it. Confidence is everything. Do you think you can?" I hesitated, my mind racing. I wanted to resist. I wanted to remain Alex. But the thrill of her praise, the sway of the skirt, and the mirror's reflection tugged at me like a magnet. After the shopping, Jess guided me to a small private studio she had rented. The walls were lined with mirrors, and soft lighting accentuated every detail. "You're going to practice walking, posing, and smiling like a pageant queen," she said, her tone soft but commanding. "And you will do it flawlessly." I stepped onto the practice floor, heels clicking. Jess corrected my posture, the tilt of my head, the angle of my hands. Every movement felt deliberate, rehearsed, and undeniably feminine. "You're learning quickly," she murmured. "But remember, beauty isn't just about looks. It's about owning the attention, feeling it, using it." Hours of walking, turning, and posing left me exhausted and emotionally raw. I collapsed onto a chaise, staring at my reflection. The girl in the mirror was perfect, poised, undeniably feminine. And yet, I felt a pang of loss for my old self. Jess sat beside me, brushing a strand of hair from my face. "You're amazing, Alex. Look at you. Every movement, every glance, you're a masterpiece." I wanted to argue. I wanted to deny it, but my voice caught in my throat. Tears threatened, part shame, part awe, part desire. "Every day," Jess whispered, You'll be more her. And soon, no one will remember the boy you used to be. As we left the studio, Jess whispered, "Tomorrow, your first public event. A gathering of friends and strangers. Everyone will see the new you. And there will be no hiding Alex. Are you ready to step into the world fully?" My heart pounded. Fear, excitement, and anticipation tangled in my chest. I wanted to run. I wanted to resist. And yet the girl in the mirror, Jess's guiding hand, and the thrill of attention made me hesitate. Could I escape? Or was this the point of no return? The morning of the event arrived with an electric tension in the air. Jess had been unusually precise in her instructions. This was not a casual gathering. It was a semi-formal party with friends, acquaintances, and strangers. Every detail, every glance, every step would count. I slipped into a sleek, knee-length dress with subtle lace detailing. The heels clicked sharply against the floor as I followed Jess, clutching the small purse she insisted completed the ensemble. My hair was perfectly styled, makeup flawless. Every inch of me screamed femininity. The venue buzzed with laughter, chatter, and the clinking of glasses. As we entered, I could feel the eyes of every attendee turning toward me. Whispers rippled through the crowd. I tried to shrink into myself, to hide, but Jess's hand on my elbow anchored me. "Stand tall, Alex," she whispered. "They're looking at you. Admire yourself. You are beautiful." I swallowed hard. My face burned as I realized every pair of eyes was measuring me, my stance, my walk, my voice, my entire presence. The familiar thrill of humiliation collided with a strange, growing pride. A group of people at the corner of the room paused, their expressions changing from casual interest to wide-eyed recognition. My heart froze. "Alex," a voice called, hesitant but unmistakable. I turned slowly, spotting a former classmate from high school. My cheeks burned crimson, and my legs felt weak. The skirt swayed nervously around my thighs. Jess's fingers tightened on my wrist. "Smile," she whispered. "Own it. Show them who you are now." I forced a smile, trembling. The classmates' eyes lingered on me, a mixture of shock, admiration, and confusion. I realized then that my old identity was fading before my eyes, not just in my own mind, but in the world's perception of me. Throughout the evening, Jess guided me with subtle commands. Walk here, smile there, engage in conversation, laugh softly. Each interaction tested my composure, pushing me further into the feminine role. A group of young men complimented my dress and hair. My voice trembled as I replied, higher pitched than usual. My cheeks burned, but a flicker of pride ignited within me. Jess leaned in close, whispering, "You hear that? They see you. They admire you. Isn't it intoxicating?"
It was.
And terrifying. As the night wore on, I felt the old Alex slipping further away. My posture, my voice, my expressions, all had been reshaped by hours of training, public scrutiny, and Jess's unwavering control. I caught glimpses of myself in the mirrored walls, and the reflection was almost unrecognizable. The girl in the mirror was poised, delicate, undeniably feminine, and entirely under Jess's influence. A fleeting pang of longing for my old self struck me, but it was quickly replaced by an unsettling thrill. The attention, the admiration, the subtle power of being seen, it was addictive. As the event drew to a close, Jess whispered in my ear, "Tomorrow we'll take the final step. A photo shoot, and then everyone will see you online. The world will know you as her. Are you ready for that, Alex?" My heart raced. Fear, desire, shame, and anticipation collided inside me. Could I still escape? Or was this truly the point of no return? The morning light filtered through the studio blinds, casting soft stripes across the hardwood floor. Jess had arranged everything meticulously, lighting, backdrops, cameras, her attention to detail absolute. My stomach churned as I realized the significance. This wasn't just a private showcase anymore. My image, my new identity, would soon be seen by countless eyes online. I stood in front of the full-length mirror, taking in my reflection. The dress she had picked clung elegantly, highlighting curves I hadn't known I possessed. My hair cascaded perfectly over my shoulders, and my makeup was flawless. But with every glance, every inhale, panic bubbled beneath the surface.
This is real now.
Everyone will see me like this, and there's no turning back. Jess approached, a clipboard in hand and a sly smile tugging at her lips. "Alex," she said softly but with authority, "today is about showing the world who you are. I don't mean just wearing the dress. I mean embodying her. Every look, every pose, every smile has to be perfect." Her words sent a shiver down my spine. I wanted to protest, to run, but even as I opened my mouth, she placed a hand gently on my shoulder. "You'll thank me later," she whispered. "I promise." I swallowed, uncertain whether she was speaking the truth or weaving another layer of control. The photographer guided me through pose after pose. Hands on hips, a tilt of the head, a soft arch of the back. Each movement felt foreign, but under Jess's watchful gaze, I forced myself into the motions. "Beautiful," she murmured repeatedly, her praise cutting through my nerves like a knife. "Now smile. More confidence. Yes, perfect." But as the camera flashed, every nerve ending in my body screamed, "They're seeing me. All of me." I caught my reflection in a mirrored panel. The girl staring back was perfect.
Poised.
Feminine. Gorgeous. And utterly controlled by Jess. After hours of posing, the adrenaline and humiliation collided. I sank onto a chaise, hands trembling, eyes brimming with tears. I don't know if I can do this," I whispered. Jess knelt beside me, brushing tears from my cheek. "Sure you can. You are her, Alex. Look at yourself. The world is about to see your beauty. And soon you'll believe it too." A flicker of shame, fear, and pride coursed through me. Part of me wanted to escape, to rip off the dress, to reclaim my old life. But the other part, the part Jess had carefully nurtured, thrilled at the thought of admiration, attention, and power in this new form. When the images were finally uploaded, my phone buzzed relentlessly. Likes, comments, and shares poured in. Compliments flooded. Beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. My chest tightened with an unexpected rush. The girl in the photos was me, but somehow, she felt like someone else entirely. My heart raced. Every ping of notification reinforced the truth. The transformation was no longer private. My old identity was slipping fast. Jess leaned close, whispering, "Do you feel it, Alex? They all see you. They admire you. You're perfect. And soon, there will be no turning back." I nodded, trembling. The thrill, the fear, the shame, the pride, they all collided, creating a dizzying storm in my chest. Later that night, Jess whispered as she tucked me in, "Tomorrow, a social gathering. Friends, strangers, everyone will interact with the new you. You will be her. And Alex, you won't be able to hide anymore." My mind spun. Could I really face the world like this? Could I survive the scrutiny, the attention, the admiration? And deep down, did I even want to? The reflection in the mirror stared back, flawless and feminine. And the question haunted me, is Alex gone forever, or just hiding beneath the surface? The evening air was thick with anticipation as Jess led me to the venue. My heels clicked against the pavement, each step echoing my nervous heartbeat. Tonight was not a casual outing. This was a curated social gathering filled with friends, acquaintances, and strangers alike. I glanced at my reflection in a nearby shop window. The dress clung to my curves perfectly, my hair shimmered under the soft streetlights, and my makeup highlighted features I barely recognized as my own. I swallowed hard. Everyone will see me like this. No hiding, no excuses. Jess squeezed my hand gently. "Remember, Alex, confidence is everything. They'll follow your lead. Show them who you are." The room buzzed with conversation and laughter when we entered. Eyes immediately turned toward me. Whispers and stifled giggles reached my ears, and my cheeks burned. A few friends from school froze mid-conversation, their expressions switching from surprise to curiosity. One of them, a tall guy I hadn't seen in years, stared openly, his jaw slightly slack. "Alex," he said, incredulity coloring his tone. My stomach twisted. Every nerve screamed to run, to hide, to shed this unfamiliar identity. But Jess's hand on my wrist held me firmly in place. "Smile," she whispered. "This is your moment." I forced a trembling smile. My voice, higher and softer than ever, barely escaped my lips. "Hi, it's me." Throughout the evening, I moved carefully through the crowd, guided by Jess's subtle commands. Tilt your head, adjust your posture, laugh lightly, engage in conversation. Every interaction was a test, every compliment a dagger of shame and thrill. "You're beautiful," a stranger said, meeting my eyes. My chest tightened, a strange warmth spreading through me. Embarrassment and pride collided. Jess leaned close, whispering, "Hear that? They see her. They admire her. That's your power." I shook slightly, the realization hitting me. Alex, the boy I had been, was fading. The attention, the compliments, the subtle power of being desired in this new form, it was addictive, terrifyingly addictive. Midway through the evening, a familiar voice stopped me cold. "Wait, is that really you?" I turned slowly, panic rising. A former classmate, someone I hadn't spoken to in years, was staring at me, their eyes wide. Jess's fingers brushed my hand. "Don't panic," she murmured. "Smile. Show them who you are now." I forced another smile, heart hammering. Their gaze lingered, curiosity mixed with recognition. My old identity was visible to them, but the girl in the dress, me, yet not me, dominated the moment. The confrontation left me shaken, my mind teetering on the edge of fear and fascination. Could Alex survive the scrutiny, or was the boy gone forever? As the night progressed, I felt the line between Alex and this new identity blur. My posture, voice, and expressions had all been molded under Jess's guidance. Every glance, whisper, and compliment further eroded my old self. I caught my reflection in a mirrored wall, perfect, delicate, undeniably feminine. The girl staring back wasn't just wearing the dress. She was the dress, the heels, the makeup, and the attention. A mixture of shame, fear, arousal, and pride churned inside me. The transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional, psychological, and irrevocable. Jess leaned close, voice soft but commanding. "Tomorrow we'll take the final step. You will live her, and the world will know you as her. Are you ready, Alex?" My heart pounded. Could I still run? Could I reclaim my old life? And deep down, did I even want to? The night ended with a final compliment from a stranger. "Absolutely stunning. I can't believe it's you." As Jess guided me out, the applause and murmurs of admiration still ringing in my ears, I realized with a shiver, there was no going back. Alex, the boy, was slipping away, and the girl in the dress, elegant and poised, was ready to step fully into the world. The moment I stepped out of Jess's apartment, the world seemed different. The streets, the shops, the people all looked sharper, brighter, somehow tailored to spotlight me. I felt it immediately. Eyes following, subtle glances acknowledging my presence, whispers brushing against my ears like a breeze. Jess walked beside me, heels clicking in sync with mine, her confidence radiating like an aura. "This is it, Alex. No more hiding. No more shadows of your old self. Today you live her." I swallowed hard, a knot of fear and anticipation twisting in my chest. The dress hugged me like a second skin, every curve and line accentuated. For a fleeting moment, I wanted to scream, run, vanish. But then, I noticed the way strangers looked at me. Respect, admiration, curiosity. And a part of me, terrifyingly, liked it. We entered a cafe filled with casual chatter, the scent of coffee and pastries thick in the air. Jess guided me to a table near the center, where friends, acquaintances, and strangers would pass by. "Sit tall. Smile. Speak softly but confidently," Jess instructed, adjusting a stray lock of hair. As I settled into the chair, a group of young men paused near the counter, their eyes lingering on me. One whispered something to another, and I caught fragments. Beautiful, perfect, unreal. My stomach fluttered in ways I hadn't expected. A former classmate spotted me across the room and froze. Recognition flashed in their eyes, followed by disbelief. My pulse raced. Could Alex, the boy, still be recognized under this facade? Or was he already gone, replaced entirely by the girl everyone now saw? Every step, glance, and compliment was reshaping me. I caught myself adjusting the skirt, tilting my head, lowering my voice slightly. All without Jess prompting. The girl in the reflection, the girl walking beside me in heels and makeup, was no longer an act. A creeping realization sank in. I was becoming comfortable in the skin, comfortable in the attention, the subtle power, the thrill of admiration. Every pang of shame was countered by an intoxicating surge of confidence. Jess's voice broke through my thoughts.
See?
This is who you are meant to be. Not Alex hiding in shadows, but her. Beautiful, noticed, in command of her presence. I nodded, but my throat tightened. Fear, loss, and exhilaration tangled in one knot. Could I really accept this? Later, we strolled through a crowded market. Every passerby's glance felt magnified. Whispers followed me. She's gorgeous. Look at her legs, her hair. I tried to look away, to shield myself, but Jess's hand on my elbow was firm. Face them. Own it. Every glance is yours. Let them see. A street vendor, mid-transaction, paused and complimented me. You're stunning, miss. My chest tightened. Embarrassment and pride warred inside me. And then it hit me. The thrill of being seen, admired, even envied, was overpowering. The old Alex, the shy, invisible boy, felt like a distant memory. Jess led me to a secluded spot near a fountain, the city lights reflecting on the water. Look at yourself, she whispered, pointing to my reflection in the rippling surface. I stared. The girl staring back wasn't just me in a dress. She was confident, poised, undeniably feminine. Every line of her body, every nuance of her expression, radiated power and beauty. Jess leaned closer.
This is it, Alex. This is who you are now.
There's no going back. You can either fight it and remain lost, or embrace her fully and step into a new life. My heart pounded. Every instinct screamed to run, to reclaim my old self. But the reflection, the attention, the subtle surge of empowerment, it was intoxicating. I exhaled slowly, letting the tension seep from my body. I think I can be her, I whispered, voice trembling. Jess smiled, a mixture of triumph and affection.
Good.
Because she's already the world's favorite now. As we walked back through the city streets, every passerby's glance and whisper confirmed one thing. The transformation was complete. The old Alex was fading, replaced entirely by her. The girl in the dress, poised, confident, and unshakable. Yet deep inside, a flicker of doubt remained. Could I fully accept this identity, or would the memory of Alex linger, haunting me in quiet, solitary moments? The city lights sparkled like scattered gems as Jess guided me through narrow streets, past cafes and boutiques. Each step was deliberate, each glance a reminder of how far I had come. I wasn't just wearing the dress anymore. I was her. Every movement, every tilt of the head, every soft laugh had been internalized, practiced, and perfected. Yet beneath the poised exterior, a fragile layer of Alex, the boy I once was, still lingered, a quiet echo in my thoughts. We stopped at a quiet park, the fountain gurgling softly nearby. Jess sat on a bench, gesturing for me to join her. You've done so well, she said softly, brushing a stray lock of hair from my face. But how do you feel? Not the world, not me but you. I hesitated, unsure how to articulate the jumble inside me. Pride, embarrassment, thrill, shame, they twisted together, forming an intricate tapestry of emotion. I feel different, I admitted. I feel beautiful, but it's scary and exciting, and I don't know if I can ever go back. Jess smiled knowingly. That's exactly it. You're not going back.
And you don't need to.
She, the girl in the dress, is more alive than Alex ever was. Her words, gentle yet firm, resonated deep within me. I closed my eyes, letting the realization sink in. The boy I had been was fading. The girl I had become was rising, vibrant and undeniable. As we walked back through the city, a young man approached. He seemed nervous, hesitant, but his gaze was warm. You're incredible, he said softly. I've never seen anyone like you. Can I talk with you? My heart pounded. Jess gave a subtle nod, encouraging me without words. For the first time, I allowed myself to engage, to laugh, to enjoy the attention without fear. The connection was real, and in that moment, I realized that this new life could bring joy as well as challenge. The conversation flowed effortlessly. Compliments were exchanged, laughter shared, and for the first time, I didn't feel like I was performing. I was her, fully inhabiting this body and identity. Word of my transformation had spread online and through social circles. Everywhere I went, people noticed, not with ridicule, but with admiration. It was surreal. A former classmate approached hesitantly, their expression softening. Alex, wow. You're really amazing. I smiled, letting the compliment wash over me. The embarrassment that once would have consumed me was gone. Instead, a flicker of pride and self-acceptance replaced it. I could still remember Alex, but he no longer controlled me. Jess squeezed my hand. See? They all see her now. And more importantly, you see her too. Later, alone in front of the mirror, I studied myself. The girl in the reflection was perfect. Every curve, every expression, every nuance radiated femininity. But it wasn't just surface level. My emotions, my thoughts, my very sense of self had shifted. I whispered softly, almost to myself, I am her, and I'll like it. Tears blurred my vision, but they were not of sadness. They were of release, of acceptance, of finally stepping into a new identity fully, with both fear and exhilaration intertwined. Jess appeared behind me, placing a gentle hand on my shoulder. The world is yours now. The choice to fully live as her is yours. But remember, Alex, she is stronger, braver, and more admired than you ever were. I nodded, a smile spreading across my face. I think I'm ready. Outside, the city pulsed with life, lights reflecting off the pavement like stars. And for the first time, I didn't feel the need to hide. Alex had faded, replaced entirely by her. The girl in the dress, confident, admired, unstoppable. The city skyline glimmered as night fell, the streets alive with movement, lights, and laughter. But for me, nothing felt distant or ordinary anymore. Every glance, every reflection, every whispered compliment had shaped me into someone new, someone undeniable. Jess walked beside me, her presence calm and grounding, yet no longer controlling. Tonight she smiled, letting me lead. You've done it, Alex, she said softly. Not as Alex, but as her. I smiled, feeling the words settle deep within me. Her. The word felt natural, comforting, and powerful. No longer a mask or a costume. This identity was mine. We entered a crowded boutique where familiar faces greeted me. Strangers, friends, even former classmates waved, complimented, and admired. You look amazing, one said. Absolutely stunning, another added. Unlike before, these words no longer sparked panic or embarrassment. Instead, pride swelled in my chest. I laughed softly, responding with grace, poise, and confidence. Every interaction reinforced a single truth. I had stepped into a new life, fully and irreversibly. Later, sitting at a quiet cafe, the young man I had met days before approached again. His eyes were warm, his smile genuine. You've changed, but in the best way possible, he said, taking my hand. My pulse quickened, not with fear, but with a thrill of connection. For the first time, I realized that my transformation wasn't just about appearances, It had opened doors to genuine relationships, emotional bonds, and unexpected intimacy. Jess watched from across the cafe, a subtle smile on her lips, knowing her work was complete. She had guided me, molded me, but now the girl I had become was independent, self-aware, and unshakable. Alone later that evening, I stood before the mirror one last time. The girl staring back was flawless, elegant, confident, and undeniably feminine. But beneath the perfection, I recognized the journey, the fear, the humiliation, the confusion, the thrill. Every step had shaped me, broken me, and rebuilt me. I whispered softly, "I am her, and I owe love who I've become." Tears streamed down, but they were not of loss. They were of release, acceptance, and triumph. The girl in the mirror was not just a reflection. She was my truth. Jess appeared behind me, her hand brushing lightly against my shoulder. "Remember, she is strong, beautiful, and unstoppable," Jess said. "Alex may have existed once, but she is forever." I nodded, a serene smile spreading across my face. For the first time, I felt complete, confident, and ready to face the world on my terms. No more hiding. No more fear. Only the girl I had become, and the life she would live. The night was quiet, yet alive with possibility. I stepped outside, heels clicking against the pavement, every movement deliberate and assured. The city embraced me, not as a disguise, not as a performance, but as who I truly was. The past existed only as a memory, Alex a fading echo. In his place stood her, the girl in the dress, the girl in the heels, the girl who had faced humiliation, fear, and uncertainty and had emerged stronger, radiant, and unstoppable. And as the city lights danced across her face, a single thought resonated clearly. This is just the beginning. Weeks had passed since the social gatherings, the public outings, and the first moments of full acceptance. The streets, the shops, even the online world now reflected a life that Alex could never have imagined. She wasn't just surviving in this new identity, she was thriving. The reflection in the mirror had shifted from a source of anxiety to a mirror of power. Every day, she woke up, dressed, styled, and polished, not out of obligation, but because this was who she had become. The subtle curve of her hips, the delicate tilt of her neck, the confident sway of her walk, it all felt natural now. Walking through the bustling city, heads turned, eyes lingered, and whispers followed. At first, these gestures had been terrifying, but now they fueled her confidence. A smile here, a tilt of the chin there, and the world seemed to bend gently to acknowledge her presence. Even mundane tasks, ordering coffee, shopping for clothes, navigating crowded streets, had become opportunities to practice poise, grace, and control. Each interaction reinforced that the girl in the dress was not just accepted, she was admired, respected, and, at times, envied. The young man from before had become more than an acquaintance. He had become a confidant, a companion who appreciated her fully, both for her appearance and the courage it had taken to embrace this identity. They walked through parks, strolled through cafes, and shared quiet moments where Alex's laughter flowed freely, unburdened by fear. The intimacy was no longer tinged with hesitation. It was a genuine connection, one that she had never known as Alex. Jess continued to guide, but subtly now. She offered advice, suggestions, and encouragement, but the power dynamics had shifted. Alex was no longer molded entirely by her. She was a partner in her own life, making decisions, embracing her identity fully, and walking into a future of her choosing. Word of her transformation had spread further. Social media, mutual friends, and casual acquaintances now recognized her, not as a curiosity, but as someone who had embraced herself completely. Even those who had known Alex expressed admiration. "You're incredible," they would say. "I've never seen anyone embrace themselves like this." These interactions, once a source of fear and shame, were now affirmations. Each compliment, each acknowledgement, reinforced the sense that the girl in the dress was not a temporary act. She was a permanent, vibrant identity. Alone in front of her mirror, Alex traced her reflection carefully. The face staring back was familiar, yet unrecognizable from the boy she once had been. There was no fear, no shame, only pride, acceptance, and quiet exhilaration. "I am her," she whispered softly. "And I am enough." The words settled deeply within her, not as a mantra forced by Jess, but as a truth she had fought to claim, step by step, day by day. The girl in the dress was confident, independent, and fully integrated into a life she had never imagined for herself. As she stepped out into the glowing city night, heels clicking rhythmically against the pavement, a subtle smile curved her lips. The past, Alex's identity, existed only as a distant memory. The future, filled with endless possibilities, awaited her. Somewhere, whispers and glances followed. But this time, they were not frightening. They were a reflection of admiration, desire, and acknowledgement. She had transformed, not just in appearance, but in life. And as the night stretched endlessly before her, she realized one undeniable truth. She was not hiding, not performing, not afraid. She was alive, radiant, and unstoppable. The room was quiet, bathed in the soft glow of a late evening lamp. The faint hum of the city outside was a distant reminder of the world beyond. Alex stood before the mirror, taking in every detail, the shimmer of her dress, the delicate curve of her lips, the confident arch of her brow. She traced the reflection slowly, deliberately, feeling the weight of every step that had led her here. From the first hesitant moments in a borrowed dress, the awkward steps in heels, the public stares, the whispered compliments, the fear and humiliation, every fragment had been woven together into this new identity. She closed her eyes for a moment, remembering the boy she had been. Alex had been shy, invisible, uncertain, and fearful of judgment. And yet, even in those moments of vulnerability, a part of him had lingered, a kernel of curiosity, desire, and untapped courage. Now that boy was a memory, not erased but transformed. The girl in the mirror was confident, radiant, and unapologetically herself. Every glance, every word, every gesture had been internalized and owned. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't performing.
She was.
A whisper escaped her lips, soft but resolute. "I am her, and I am alive." Jess entered silently, watching for a moment before speaking. "Look at you. Not just beautiful, but unstoppable. The world sees her, and more importantly, you see her too." Alex smiled, a mixture of relief, pride, and liberation. I never imagined I could feel like this. But I do. I'm her, and I love it." Jess nodded, eyes glimmering with satisfaction. "That's all I ever wanted. For you to see yourself, fully, and embrace it. You've done it. You've finally become yourself." Alex turned back to the mirror one final time. The reflection was no longer just a face in a dress. It was a life, a journey, a story of transformation and resilience. She saw power in the curve of her hips, grace in the tilt of her neck, confidence in her eyes. And beneath it all, she recognized the quiet strength that had carried her through every fear, every humiliation, every doubt. The girl in the dress was not defined by the past. She was defined by choice, courage, and self-acceptance. She whispered softly to her reflection, "This is me. This is who I am. And I am enough." Stepping outside, the city stretched before her in a symphony of lights and movement. She walked confidently, every heel striking the pavement with purpose. Faces turned, whispers followed, but none of it mattered. She had transformed, not just in body but in spirit, mind, and identity. The wind brushed her hair, the cool night air kissed her cheeks, and for the first time, she felt completely free. Alex was gone. In her place stood her, confident, radiant, empowered. The possibilities stretched endlessly before her. Friends, love, career, adventures. The future was hers to claim. And as she took a deep breath, letting the night enfold her, she realized a simple, undeniable truth. She was unstoppable. The morning sunlight filtered through the tall apartment windows, illuminating a life that Alex, now fully herself, had never imagined. The quiet hum of the city below seemed alive with possibility, each sound a reminder that the world was hers to navigate, no longer a place of fear or doubt. She stretched gracefully, the silk of her dress brushing against her skin. Every detail of her appearance, hair, makeup, nails, posture, had become second nature. This wasn't an act anymore. It was an identity she had claimed with courage, resilience, and determination. Walking through the streets, she noticed the subtle acknowledgments from strangers, smiles, glances, and compliments. A few recognized her from social media or public outings, but none could challenge the confident aura she projected. "Looking amazing as always," a passerby called. Alex smiled, feeling a surge of pride. The words no longer embarrassed her. They reinforced her self-worth, her presence, and the power of her transformation. Every step in her heels, every sway of her hips, became a declaration of confidence. Her life had begun to flourish in ways beyond appearance. In her professional life, colleagues treated her with respect and admiration. She had taken on responsibilities she never would have as Alex, excelling in roles that demanded both poise and leadership. Jess's influence remained subtle but powerful. Her guidance had transformed Alex, but now Alex's accomplishments were fully her own. She no longer relied solely on external approval. She created her own success. The young man she had bonded with earlier remained a steadfast presence. Their relationship deepened, rooted in genuine connection, mutual respect, and emotional honesty. They shared quiet nights of conversation, laughter, and subtle intimacy. Alex felt a sense of completeness she had never experienced before. Being herself, not Alex, not a costume, not a disguise, had opened doors to love, friendship, and authentic emotional expression. Beyond romance, Alex had cultivated friendships and alliances in her community. People admired not only her beauty and elegance, but also her resilience and confidence. Invitations to social events, collaborations, and public appearances became common. She navigated these moments with poise, effortlessly balancing charm, intelligence, and femininity. Each interaction reinforced the reality. She was no longer a shy, invisible boy. She was a remarkable, independent, and empowered woman. At the end of each day, Alex still paused in front of the mirror. But the reflection that greeted her now radiated certainty. The girl in the dress, once a source of fear and humiliation, had become a symbol of strength, resilience, and self-love. "I am her," she whispered, voice calm and steady. "I am enough. I am complete." There was no longing for Alex, no desire to return. The boy she once was remained a memory, cherished only as a stepping stone to this life. One evening, standing on a balcony overlooking the city lights, Alex felt the cool breeze on her face. The distant hum of nightlife, the laughter from nearby streets, and the glow of neon signs all reminded her of the vibrant world she had claimed. Jess joined her, smiling warmly.
"You've done it," she said.
Not just survived, but thrived. Alex looked out at the city, heels balanced perfectly on the railing, her dress flowing in the wind. "This is only the beginning," she said, eyes sparkling. "I'm ready for everything: life, love, adventure." Jess nodded, satisfied. "And now, the world will see her, and she will shine." As Alex turned to face the lights, every glance, every whisper, every recognition reinforced her truth. She was unstoppable, radiant, and fully herself. The future stretched endlessly before her, a life of freedom, confidence, and limitless possibility.